Welcome everyone to what I'm calling the second season of World Record Runs, How It's Done. This is a series where we take a deep dive into the world of Call of Duty Zombie records and see how some of the best players in the world are reaching all new heights and all new records in zombies. Today, we're looking at everybody's favorite, Tranzit, a map people love to hate. And what's fascinating about Tranzit World Records is that not only do you have to survive long enough and play fast enough to be able to reach world records, but you also have to somehow find the willpower to play Tranzit for countless hours across multiple days. Don't ask me how people do it without going insane. It's incredible. Personally, I think it's a form of torture. I don't know how people are able to subject themselves to that, but kudos to them for having the willpower to play Tranzit for that long. I personally don't. Before we jump into Tranzit though, it's time for a quick update on our Die Rise billboard. So far we've raised $3,542 during our crowdfunding efforts to put up a remastered Die Rise billboard in Santa Monica, California, right next to Treyarch Studio. There's merch in the description such as this amazing poster and these stickers that you can get. All profits from this sale go towards our billboard, so please do go check them out. A link is down below. You can also donate directly to the GoFundMe. Any donation of $10 or greater will get your name on the billboard, so that's an option too. And if you don't have money to donate, that's perfectly fine. Those not in a situation financially where it makes sense to throw away money to a frivolous cause like this can participate by joining the Discord where we're discussing ways to get our message to remaster Die Rise out. So check that out if you're unable to donate. With that said, let's jump into Tranzit. Like we always do when we're doing these videos, we're going to kick things off by looking at Tranzit on solo. As it stands right now, these are the 5 highest rounds people have ever achieved on Tranzit. At the top is a name I recommend you all familiarize yourselves with when we're talking Black Ops 2 records. It's Tidy Barbiecue. Tidy, over the course of 37 hours, was able to set the world record and reach an astonishing round 156. And yes, you heard me right. Tidy played Tranzit for 37 hours without going insane, a feat almost as impressive as setting the world record. You might be wondering how something like this is possible. After all, Tranzit has a wonder weapon. It's hot garbage. There's one trap on that map you gotta build yourself. That's also hot garbage. How are you supposed to play and kill zombies for 156 rounds? Well, the answer is that hot garbage wonder weapon we just mentioned earlier, the jet gun. The strategy is quite simple. You train in front of the farm and pick off zombies 2 to 3 at a time by burst shooting the jet gun. And this is how a majority of the game is spent playing. Some of you might remember the jet gun burst strategy on Tranzit when the map first came out, all the way back in 2012. That was quickly patched and you weren't able to do the burst strategy. And this greatly reduced people's abilities to reach the high rounds. It was essentially as far as weapons like the ray gun and the Mustang and Sally and later the ray gun Mark II could take you. 9 months later though, in August of 2013, 5 and 5, one of the leaders in zombie strategies, found that this burst strategy actually still does work post-patch. You just gotta change how you do it. What you need to do, rather than swap weapons before you burst the jet gun, is to instead knife and then burst the jet gun. So you knife and then you maybe have about a half a second window after you knife, whereas the animations are changing from knifing to pulling out your gun that you hit the trigger. And this lets you start revving up the RPMs on the jet gun. And the way the jet gun works is that you need to get the RPMs to at least 30. Once they're at 30 or greater, that's when you're able to kill the zombies. Now at this point, your gun is revving up the RPMs, but it's not quite out yet. And what this means is that you're not actually overheating the weapon. So by the time the weapon is out, you're at 30 RPMs, you're able to quickly kill the zombies, you burst, let go of the burst, and then it works. Rinse and repeat. You kill 2 to 3 zombies at a time, and that's how you're going about killing the zombies in a high round run on Tranzit. Now, one thing to note, this looks like an easy strategy, but it requires a lot of practice and a lot of timing. And to put it quite simply, you knife right before you shoot, and then quickly burst the jet gun. Sounds simple. You'll kill 2 to 3 zombies at a time without the jet gun overheating, but knifing can be tricky. Sometimes when you knife, you might lunge into a horde of zombies. If you're too close to them, they can get a couple swipes on you. Suddenly, you're close to death. The jet gun can be a little bit unwieldy to work with, so It's not the easiest strategy in the world. It's definitely one that I would say it looks easier than it actually is. It's one you have to be careful with and have a lot of practice. But if you can get good at it, you can actually fly through the rounds really quickly. For example, Tidy was able to reach round 100 in about 8 hours. That's not bad timing, and the jet gun won't kill an entire horde like, say, the thunder gun, so it's not a flashy wonder weapon, but something that's absolutely worth considering is that with the jet gun, you're constantly killing the zombies. It's almost like as the zombies stream in, you continue to kill them, just 2 to 3 at a time. There will always be a large horde of zombies around, but you're always killing them. It's almost like when you have a zombie that's turned, slowly picking off a horde of zombies. It's not like we're blowing them all out at once, but we're continuously killing them, and this is what makes this actually not that unbearable of a strategy. You just need to be careful, and it takes a lot of practice to be able to pull off consistently. One thing I'd like to mention is if we take a moment to diverge from solo, this is a strategy that actually works in co-op. At the time, these are the top 5 co-op runs on Transit, and sitting at the top right now are Cynex and XSurround96. I apologize if I messed up their names. They were able to reach round 113, which is the highest round that anybody has ever reached on Transit in co-op. So well done to them. That's absolutely amazing. When you're running the burst strategy in co-op, you're basically doing the same thing, except you have players standing on opposite ends of the farm area in front of it, where the bus comes through, and one person just has the jet gun and slowly picks off the zombies while the other person is just trying to not die from the zombies. That's basically your strategy in solo and co-op. So when it comes to the early rounds as you're playing Transit, it's much more traditional. You're using the Mustang and Sally, you're using the ray gun, you're taking advantage of drops, more specifically insta-kill. When you have an insta-kill, maybe you're using an M16 with a grenade launcher to blow away as many zombies as possible. You're essentially just trying to play quickly and get to like the 40s and 50s as fast as possible. When you get to that point, as you run out of ammo, you're going to start using the jet gun, hoping for a max ammo. But eventually, you're just going to start using the jet gun exclusively. And for the rest of the game then on, you use the jet gun. So the early rounds, they're not super interesting, and then the high rounds are straightforward. Things start to get wild though in the late game. Something unexpected happens in the late game. The reason the game gets wild is because for some odd reason, the jet gun stops working at round 156. It's working perfectly fine at round 155, and then for some reason at 156, it's kaput. It just stops working and it won't kill the zombies anymore. It's strange. Personally, I don't know why it happens. If somebody does know, then please do leave it down in the comments below. I'll be sure to pin that comment up top so people can get that information. Unfortunately, in my research, I wasn't able to find that. So if somebody does know, please do tell me. So this begs the question. If at round 156 and on, you don't have the jet gun to kill the zombies, how are you supposed to keep going? This is the dilemma that Tidy faced when he was playing. People were aware that the jet gun stopped working at round 156. Others had discovered this by using mods and exploits to get into the really high rounds, but Tidy was the first person to ever get to round 156 legit. This means that he was the first person to ever play zombies for so long, legitimately, that the jet gun stopped working, and he had to, on the fly, figure out a way to kill the zombies. The solution that he worked out was to use the plow of the bus. He basically, on the fly, created a strategy that centers around following the bus as it moves from section to section around the map. And he would have the bus run over entire hordes of zombies with the plow, and then that would kill them. The route essentially worked like this. He would start at the farm and get a horde kill with the bus coming in and with the bus coming out. And then he would go to town as the bus was traveling to power. He would then get a kill with the bus as it was coming in. Now at this point, he would work his way over to Bus Depot. Once at Bus Depot, he would get a kill with the bus as it was coming in and as it was coming out. From there, he would go to Diner, grab the shield, go to farm, rinse, and repeat. You are running a loop around the map, essentially trying to stay ahead of the bus. And now, as you might expect, this strategy is ungodly long. It is slow. You're going to get 5 horde kills per loop, and each loop will take you about 12 minutes. I did a few back-of-the-envelope calculations. Let's say you're at round 156. You're going to face 92.25 hordes of zombies. This means you're going to have to do 18.5 loops around Transit, and each loop will take you about 12 minutes, which means that beating round 156 should take you roughly 3 hours and 40 minutes. That's a long time to beat one round. That's kind of wild, and potentially it could take you longer depending on how slow you're playing. Maybe you don't always get a horde kill with the bus because you screwed something up. So these are long ass rounds. And how is this going to be a feasible long-term strategy? Well, it might not be. Here's something to consider. So round 156, as we established, could take you as long as 3 hours and 40 minutes. Now at this point, if you're playing at Tidy's pace, you should be about 37 hours into the game. And Tidy was playing on PC, because typically when you get to this point on console, you should have already ran into a chunk error. Now PC starts to get less and less stable as the game goes on. So 37 hours or 156 hours into the game, you're likely to run into an error such as a script error and crash. The game probably doesn't have much legs left in terms of time. So we might have actually reached the point where Transit is maxed out. There won't be potentially a higher round on Transit. 156 might be unbeatable. It's tough to say exactly. If anything, maybe people will be able to reach 157 or 158, but maybe not much higher. Especially when these rounds could take 3 to 4 hours long. That's wild. Now, Tidy's game ended up ending 37 hours in because of a script error, so Tidy's game might stand the test of time as the longest game of Transit ever played, or at least the highest round ever reached on Transit. And unless there's a big development in how to play more efficiently or kill the zombies faster in the late rounds, well, Transit, it might just be maxed out, and that could be it. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is what is going on in the world of Transit Records. It's weird to say we might have reached the end. Now, I could be wrong, there could be new developments, people could find new strategies, maybe we find a way to make the jet gun work. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on there with the jet gun, but as it stands right now, Tidy is sitting at the top of the leaderboards at round 156, and I don't think we'll be seeing him go anywhere soon. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, maybe subscribe for more. We're going to be continuing to cover world records, so if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy the next one. I'm going to go. Be sure to check out the Billboard GoFundMe in the description. While you're at it, you can also get some Die Rise merch. It's pretty awesome. People seem to really like it. Helps a good cause, which is our Billboard, of course. If you can't donate or can't afford to, perfectly fine. Go and check out the Discord where we're planning Die Rise shenanigans. Have a wonderful day, and bye.